Editor-in-Chief of Food Logistics and Supply and Demand Chain Executive.
And I'm Brielle Jekyll. I'm the Associate Editor.
And today we are talking about women in the supply chain in relation to Supply and Demand Chain Executive's second annual Women in Supply Chain Award. This award honors female supply chain leaders and executives whose accomplishments, mentorship, and examples set a foundation for women in all levels of a company's supply chain network. And a big thank you to our sponsors. You'll see their logos scrolling at the bottom of the screen throughout our conversation. And you can also learn more about all of this year's winners, Women in Supply Chain Award, by visiting stcexec.com. So let's kind of dive in. According to a survey from Gartner, women now make up 41% of the supply chain workforce, which is up from 39% last year. While that number is still not the greatest, it does reflect improvement. It shows growth, and it speaks to more of the diversity and inclusion that so many of today's companies have invested in making a part of their company culture. Now, here's where those numbers somewhat take a nosedive. In that Gartner survey, women only accounted for 15% of executive roles, which is down from 17% in 2020. And I'd like to believe that the COVID-19 pandemic had a lot to do with that, as women kind of took on more of the role of the working mom and at-home teacher for their kids who were doing e-learning. I know I was one of them. So it kind of put on some additional pressures that maybe those female executives didn't necessarily have in plan. 54% of respondents from that same Gartner survey said that retaining mid-career women continues to be a challenge due to the lack of career opportunities. And this right here just blows my mind. You know, we have an industry experiencing a driver shortage, we have an overall labor shortage, and now we have mid-career women dealing with lack of career opportunities. I personally think we need to do better than that. I mean, we must. Women are an integral part of the future of supply chains, whether they're engineers or line operators, truck drivers, or CEOs. We have to find a way to improve these numbers, not just for the existing females in the supply chains, but for today's young females looking to enter our industry. Brielle, what are your thoughts on some of these figures?
Well, I think a huge eye-opener was that during the pandemic, overall, throughout the world and throughout the United States, not just in the logistics and the supply chain industries, female jobs were the most jobs to see go. You know, those were the most losses we saw. But with this labor gap, you know, now there's an opportunity for all those women that lost their jobs to maybe look at the supply chain and understand that this is a really viable source of income. It's a really steady career. It's an essential job. And it's really, really needed. We really need more workers in the industry. So I think that the focus on bringing more women into the supply chain, making them feel included, making them feel safe is a really important idea right now, concept right now. And we're seeing it become a better environment for women. I mean, not just as a truck driver, because there's more safety features in the truck. So now you feel more comfortable sleeping on the road. And more in terms of a driver, I was speaking to an influencer and how there's a truck driver influencer. There's a big movement right now on social media where we're seeing not women on social media as truckers just for, you know, attention and things like that. But we're seeing real empowerment come from social media influencers that are truckers, which then makes others realize this is an environment that I can work in. And so we're seeing that trickle down, that movement throughout the industry. And I think it's important that we have awards like this, conversations like this, and also the culture within a company that focuses on making sure everyone feels included is huge. And we're seeing a lot more of that. You know, we're seeing higher up say like, this is not, and it's really become an inclusive environment in most places.
And the empowerment part is so a lot of the nominations, and we had over 200 submissions this year. It was fantastic. But I was really pleased to see not just the men that are supporting their female counterparts, but the women supporting other women that are putting them up for nomination and saying, you know what, these are all the wonderful things that they're doing, not just because they're a woman, but because they're a part of our organization. They are a supply chain executive. They are somebody who's an integral part of our company, who's making things happen. And some of them are mothers, some of them are not. They come from all walks of life, from all parts of the United States with all different backgrounds. And it's just fantastic to see these women rise up and make the supply chain industry a better place. So thank you for all of us joining today. Thank you to our sponsors. Again, you'll see their logos scrolling at the bottom of the screen. And a big congratulations to this year's winners, Women in Supply Chain Award. I'm so excited for every one of you that are named on this list. Be sure to go to stcexec.com to learn more. And also check out our Link Live episode on September 15th. That will reveal our overall Women in Supply Chain. We're very excited. So thank you very much, and a big congratulations to all of this year's winners.
Yay!